now getting to a point where I kind of feel bad for Caleb Williams, and he's not even in the league yet. And the reason why is because there's so many people either overhyping him or saying he's going to be trash or saying this, saying that when he hasn't done anything yet. I mean, there is people who are considering him that, oh, he should be a Hall of Famer. Like, he could be a Hall of Famer. Like, he should be a first ballot. Guy hasn't even joined the NFL yet. And then there's people who are saying that he's going to be the worst draft pick ever. It's like, listen, let's let him join the league and figure out what's going to happen, right? Now, RG3, he is a interesting individual, right? We've talked about him before on the channel, and, you know, obviously he joined the league, went to the Commanders, went ahead and had a Rookie of the Year that was absolutely amazing. Following that up, went ahead and got his knee destroyed by Haloti Ngata of the Baltimore Ravens, and never was able to play football at a high level again. Okay? He was a top draft pick, number 2 draft pick, behind Andrew Luck. And yeah, he was great. He was really, truly great, right? But it seems like over the years, he's been kind of wishy-washy with some of his takes, right? And he today, and this is from the Pat McAfee show we're going to react to today, he gives a take that I feel like a lot of people, a lot of analysts, a lot of, you know, football individuals always say about one player, I feel like, every year. And it's, wow, that guy should refuse to play for that said team. I mean, there's been so many rumors that Caleb Williams himself had to come out and disprove the rumors of that he's gonna, you know, refuse to play for the Chicago Bears. He's not gonna play. He's already been very vocal. He's gonna play for the Bears if he gets drafted to the Bears. But there is so many rumors of him not playing for the Bears that now RG3, in the last-ditch effort, has joined those rumors, claiming that he should pull an Eli Manning. Now, Eli Manning, if you don't remember what happened to him, he was drafted by the San Diego Chargers. Now, Drew Brees, he was drafted by the San Diego Chargers, but he didn't want to play for the San Diego Chargers. Drew Brees was drafted by the New York Giants. He didn't want to play for the New York Giants, so therefore they did a switch. Oh, both of them were drafted by the Chargers. Drew Brees wanted to play for the Saints. He got traded to the Saints. After a couple years of playing for the Chargers, he went ahead and got traded to the Saints. If I believe so correctly, I know Drew didn't want to play for the Chargers. I don't remember if he didn't do it in draft day. I know it was a couple years down the line. You correct me down below. But for Eli Manning, at least, he didn't want to play for the Chargers. He said very clearly, I don't want to play for the Chargers. They said, we don't care, and we're going to draft you anyway. So, once he got drafted, he refused to play. Traded his butt over there to New York and won 2 Super Bowls, right? And again, like I said, I'm correcting myself here, but I don't believe Drew Brees refused to play, because Drew Brees actually did play for like 5-6 years with the Chargers, and then he got traded to the Saints. But let's play this segment that RG3 had to say.
Seemingly how the NFL works.
Caleb Williams should pull a Eli Manning and demand that the Chicago Bears do not draft him #1 overall. After everything that's happened with Justin Fields, can Caleb Williams really look at that and say, you know what? This is the organization that has my best interests at heart, and they're going to help.
All right, I'm going to pause it real fast. Gonna give my thoughts, opinions on that subject. First off, every quarterback is different in the NFL. You can never compare 2 quarterbacks and say, well, clearly this guy's going to suck. Clearly this guy's going to do good because of this guy. Every situation in the NFL when it comes to draft picks are different. Some players work, some players don't work. I agree with RG3 in the context that he's saying, you know, usually when you get drafted top 5, you go to the worst team possible. That's just football, okay? You don't go to the best situation possible. You're not going to Kansas City. You're not going to Cincinnati. You're going to the worst situation possible because that team sucks. And I agree that, you know, a lot of times that puts the quarterback, whoever the top quarterback is, in a very tough situation. Because if they were, you know, I don't know, having Andy Reid as their head coach, they could, in theory, you know, have a better start to their career, rather than having someone who is crap as a head coach or a crap situation. Now, I will say I disagree highly with the situation or the narrative that Chicago is a bad location for Caleb Williams. And if you're going to compare it to Justin Fields, I think what you have to do is compare the facts. When Justin Fields was drafted by the Chicago Bears, they had Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy was one of the worst coaches of all time. He was absolutely a trash can. It was so bad, Chicago Bears fans at the actual soccer events, local soccer events, would scream, "Fire Matt Nagy," okay? He was horrific. Number two, they did not have a system around him. When they drafted Justin Fields, it was almost like they just said, hey, F it, let's go for it. They didn't have a receiving core. They had a running back, but they didn't have a team set up, and they were in a very bad spot. And I'm not sitting here telling you that Chicago is doing amazing. But guess what? They had the number one overall pick, not because it's their pick. It's because it's the Carolina Panthers pick. That is the Panthers' number one overall pick. They're not drafting there because they were the worst team in the league last year. And they weren't the greatest, but they have the 9th overall pick because that is their pick. So, to the narrative that, well, you know, Chicago's going to be the worst location for him. First off, the Commanders are number 2, which he's about to say that he should go to the Commanders. But number 2, the Commanders were way worse than the Chicago Bears last year. Plus, they don't even have a system set up with the receiving core that Caleb can come in and thrive. Chicago has Keenan Allen. They got Darnell Mooney. Oh, no, Darnell Mooney left. They have Keenan Allen, and they also have, let me see. I know they just picked up a wide receiver or two. Let me see. Bears depth chart. But they this offseason have been building around him to try to help out, you know, the future rookie. They got Tyler Scott, Colin Johnson, and they also got in the backfield DeAndre Swift. They just picked up DeAndre Swift. And they also have Khalil Herbert. They have a system around him that is going to help him become successful. I mean, if you're telling me right now you're going to put a rookie quarterback on a brand new team with 2 stud receivers in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, I would be like, oh wow, that's actually really probably your best friend you could have. Plus, he has a really great tight end in Cole Kmet, which is a really good, you know, just check down guy. And they just picked up Gerard Everett. Like, and of all the teams in the top 5, the Patriots, the Commanders, the Cardinals, you cannot tell me Chicago is the worst spot. Chicago is the best spot for him with how many weapons he has. Like, this,
help develop me into the player that I want to become. Caleb Williams is on record saying that he wants to be legendary. He wants to rewrite history, and he wants to be the best that he can possibly be and win the most games he can possibly win. After the Bears took Justin Fields, the 11th pick in the draft, and turned him into a 6th round pick in the 2025 draft by trading him to the Pittsburgh Steelers, can Caleb Williams really look at that and say, you know what? Yeah, this organization is going to help get me where I want to go.
Yeah.
I don't.
And it's ironic, too, because can the Washington Commanders really say that they should take Caleb Williams when RG3 went ahead and they drafted RG3, and then after like 3 years, this guy was being passed around to each team like a cigarette in jail? Like, I mean, yeah, you can make the argument for anything, buddy. You really can. Like, at the end of the day, not every quarterback's going to work out for every single team. This is not Cleveland back in the day where they were absolutely freaking awful at drafting quarterbacks and was like a freaking joke, in making, seeing them try to draft quarterbacks.
I don't think it's saying that. Eli Manning had power in that 2004 draft. And he let the Chargers know, don't draft me. I don't believe in the direction that your organization is going, and I don't want to play there. He refused to play for them, even threatened to sit out an entire season if they draft.
First off, I think what RG3 needs to do is he needs to explain then what is the system that the Chicago Bears are heading into and why is it wrong for Caleb Williams? Because based on what I understand, it's a complete new system. It's a complete new head coach. It's a complete new GM. Everything is brand new. You have literally nothing like it was back when Justin Fields was drafted. So in what way is it set up the exact same as Justin Fields? And again, also explain how, and I mean how, are the Commanders a better spot for him or the Patriots? Or, I mean, you go down the list, the Vikings potentially going to lose Jay Jettis. Like, I would love to know that too.
drafted him, and they still drafted him. And the look on his face when he's holding up the jersey said everything. So what happened?
Eli.
The Chargers traded him to the New York
His facial
Giants
expression.
for
His
Phillip Rivers, also a 2004 third-round pick.
That's who I was thinking about. I was thinking about Phillip Rivers. My apologies. Phillip Rivers. Yeah, I was thinking about that one. I don't know why I could not think of Phillip Rivers for a second, but Phillip Rivers was drafted by the New York Giants, and they did a little swapperoo.
And then the 1st and 5th round picks in the 2005 NFL draft. What did Eli end up doing? He won 2 Super Bowls for the New York Giants. Had a great career.
Good
So,
point.
for Caleb Williams, don't get me wrong, guys.
Stunk.
I thought Ryan Poles was having an amazing offseason up until this trade for Justin Fields. Because you trade Justin Fields so you can get some players back to help your team out this year. Because Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, they're in a lame duck season. They have to win this year or they're going to get fired. And don't get me wrong. Hey, hand the football off to DeAndre Swift, throwing the ball to Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. Those guys are phenomenal. This ain't anything about them. This is about Caleb Williams and what team out there gives him the best chance to be successful. Only he can deem that. Yes, I do think him going back to Washington, where he's from, he's a D.C. kid, went to Gonzaga College High School.
Yeah,
okay? I think that's the best spot
right
for him.
now.
But he has to answer that question. And if he says, all right, I see everything that's been going on, and now I can make the decision and say, I don't think that the Chicago Bears are the best place for me or my family to accomplish all the goals that we want to accomplish, then he needs to let that be known. He does have power right now, and he should exercise it if he feels like Chicago is not where he should be.
Okay.
It just makes no logical sense. And then again, in the end, his point is he should go to Washington. He should go to the Commanders, and the Commanders is the best spot possible. And that is what he should exercise his right to go to Commanders. Guys, and I can't stress this enough. And I know he would never be able to explain this because there is no explaining this. How is the Commanders a better spot than the Bears? The Bears had a better season last year, played better. The reason why they tried to trade away Justin Fields was, number one, because they're getting a new quarterback and they don't want a guy, sitting behind their quarterback who's going to always be looking over his shoulder. Number two, Justin Fields wanted to go to Pittsburgh. He was very clear about that. There was actually other trade destinations he could have been traded to, and he didn't do, and they actually respected him and said, hey, listen, do you want to go to blank, blank, blank? And he said, no, I want to go to Pittsburgh. So he got to go to the location he wanted to go to. I'm sure there was some mutual interest on his, his part of wanting to be traded, because yeah, if you're like, hey, listen, we got all these weapons, but we're gonna draft a quarterback, it's only right to give that backup or the other quarterback a chance to leave that team and go somewhere he wants to go. This is just a nothing burger. It really is. It's every single year. There's always this. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Caleb Williams is going to be the best quarterback in the league. I don't know. At the end of the day, he was very good in college, but there are certain things I think that people are overrating. And the problem is, and this happens all the time, is that you overhype a player so freaking much that it gets to a point where even if he is, let's say, hypothetically speaking, a decent NFL quarterback, it ends up becoming that he's almost a bust because he's not living up to the expectations that are given. And it's to a point where a lot of these expectations are just unrealistic expectations. They're things that no player can live up to. And I don't care what player you list, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, there are certain expectations already put upon Caleb Williams that are just unacceptable. It's not fair to him to have to go into a league that people already assume he's going to be Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. Yes. Like, let the guy go where he wants to go, meaning, like, wherever he gets drafted, and let him create his career. Stop trying to dictate what he needs to do or what he doesn't need to do. At the end of the day, he's been very vocal that he's okay with going to Chicago. He's been very vocal that he, is going to go wherever he gets drafted to. He literally didn't even participate in the pro day because he said that he, he didn't say, I believe he didn't participate in the pro day because the fact there's no reason to throw. Why throw? He didn't throw at the combine. I think he did do a pro day. He didn't throw at the combine because he already knew that, hey, listen, there's no reason to do this because I know I'm going to Chicago. And in no way, did he ever come out and say that he doesn't want to be a Bear. Like, this is just a nothing burger that RG3 is trying to start stuff, and this kind of does suck, because I used to like RG3 back when he was in the league, and I feel like now that all he's trying to do is become a polarized figure to just start stuff and say nonsense. It's pointless. But, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.